Hello.
Hello, my camera is not working. Hold on. Here we go. It's coming. There I am. Love technology, right, Alejandro? Okay, here
I
we
love it.
go. Guys,
What's me?
every now and then you get these technical glitches on a live stream. I want to welcome everybody to Dead Talk Live. Today, our special guest is Alejandro Hidalgo, writer, director, whose new movie, The Exorcism of God, is coming out to theaters and video on demand on March 11th. So the day is almost here. We're going to talk about the movie in detail in a bit. But I got to ask you this first, Alejandro. Not many movies, in fact, I've been doing this for a while now, and I've never asked a question about a title of a film. Okay? Now, the title of your film, The Exorcism of God, before I watched it, it really had me pondering like, is that an oxymoron? I mean, what is the exorcism of God? Now, when I watched the film, it all became clear. Okay, I knew what you were getting at. But for you, when you wrote the film, you directed it. When it came time to come up with the title, did you have? I mean, did you go through various titles before you settled on the Exorcism of God?
Yeah. We had one before. It was called In the Mouth of the Devil because basically the biggest horror moments were, and basically all the climax of the movie was in a very dilapidated prison in South America, a very dark and creepy place. But at the end of the day, the story become deeper. The story talk about more transcendental issues like how can we expel God from our core body by committed sins and falling into darkness and temptation. So basically, that's the main concept. I don't want to go too deep about it because
Yeah.
we will be revealing like the main twist, but there is like another perspective about exorcisms.
Absolutely, and we're not going to give away any spoilers here. We don't want to ruin it for you guys. Now, you have the distinct honor of directing Venezuela's highest-grossing horror film, which is The House at the End of Time, which is slated to receive an American remake. Was that your first film ever?
Yeah, yeah. The House was my first feature film in Venezuela. It was crazy because we just released it in 25 theaters, and people never stopped watching it and attending the screenings during 9 months. So basically, it became the highest grossing horror film. I was working with New Line Cinema developing a remake. Unfortunately, we fall into the health development,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm working by myself to produce it because that film is really powerful, emotional, and I cannot wait to share it with the entire world by producing an elevated project, like with a bigger production value that my first feature film had.
So you're doing it. You're doing the American remake. It's all you.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
doing it.
that's exciting. Now, I have spoken to a lot of Venezuelan filmmakers, very talented people, filmmakers that have come out of Venezuela. Uh, I mean, there's talent all over the world, but when it comes to Venezuela, is it very difficult to make a movie down there, get it seen? Is it relatively easy as compared to the United States? How would you describe the experience?
Well, right now, in the present, it's just impossible unless you make it with a budget of 30K, $30,000, something like that. I mean, my country, where I am now, is in a very tough situation with a dictatorship government, with a very intense economical crisis. When I had the chance to make this film, the situation was different. There was like a film institute that was supporting independent filmmakers, and by I mean like you had to compete and the best projects got the financing. So
Yeah,
that was the way I got the money to make the house at the end of time 10 years ago, $300,000. But now that institution with the huge inflation we had in our economy, the money that they give you is not enough even for the catering.
totally understand. Now,
So basically,
is the
yeah, sorry.
exorc is the Exorcism of God your first English speaking film?
It is. It is. Yeah.
Was
I
that
always have.
challenging to do that? Did you find a lot of challenges along the way?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely it was challenging, but I am very passionate I was passionate to make this film in English to connect with American audiences because they really love the house at the end of time, and I want to get into Hollywood and finding a way to screen my film around the globe, so that's why I decided to do it in that way. But I did it in a very special way because we made like an American film, but shot in South America.
Ah,
I, I was trying to make it in Venezuela, but it wasn't impossible because of the situation. So we moved to Mexico. Mexico has amazing, beautiful locations, unique places, very talented people. So basically, we made some kind of American film made by Latino people. We had also, of course, American actors and some of the American crew, but the 85% of the crew was Latino.
I want to give you big props. Whatever your budget was, you used it brilliantly for this film in the special effects, the imagery, the beautiful locations in Mexico. So you're making an exorcism movie. There are a lot of exorcism movies. What did you want to do to make this movie different from all the other exorcism movies that are out there?
I wanted to create a very powerful and intense human story that is sustained by a huge dilemma. We have a character who is tormented by a guilt, by a sin he committed 18 years ago, and after all this time suffering the pain of a secret, he finds out that the demon has come back to possess a girl called Esperanza, and the only way he has to exorcise her is by confessing his sin. But if he does that, he will be excommunicated. He will lose his home, that is a very beautiful town in Mexico, and he will also lose the opportunity to save people. And he loves people. He loves his children, and he's working in an orphanage. In this moment there is a lot of sick children, and he's getting humanitarian aid because he's recognized as a saint because of this exorcism he performed a long time ago, but that it was really a botched exorcism. So it's a huge dilemma, like if he confesses he will save this girl, but if he doesn't, he will let a lot of people die, his children, and he will be excommunicated. So I really love stories that bring human conflicts and dilemmas, and also um, I feel this film is really powerful because it's full of fun, horror, very intense moments. So I wanted to mix like two universes to make a story that is basically built by very specific rules, by principles, and from The Exorcist, that is basically the masterpiece from the genre that I also made a homage for that movie in my own
Mm-hmm.
feature, but
Yes.
also to make something original, because the story also has a twist about exorcism that is really powerful, and it has like very unique imagery and creatures, horror creatures that I feel they will shock the horror fans.
Absolutely. Father Peter, who is the main character, he is, like you mentioned, he committed a sin, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But it
Yeah.
seems like since committing that sin, he has dedicated his life while keeping that secret because it made him really elevated within the Catholic Vatican Church, but he is living his life to atone for that sin, and he is very tormented inside. And it was portrayed beautifully. Was that did you have a lot of conversations with the actor on how your vision was, and did you have to do a lot of takes, or did it really come naturally for him?
I of course we developed the character as much as we could. We were going deep into his background, his personality, his psychological profile. We were always discussing the feelings. On set, I am also I avoid to make rehearsals during the pre-production because in some way I feel it will bring like mechanical or automatic performances, and I don't want to get that. I want like real reactions that are happening in present time. And yeah, we work in his background. We work a lot for a month before starting to shoot, and he was totally possessed by these emotions, by this feeling of guilt. Like Will Bambring was really connected to the role. When I was shooting, I was looking at him just walking on the set, full of anger and pain, punching walls and screaming in anger. And that was really cool, to see to have an actor so compromised to the role. And yeah, we made a lot of takes because I'm always trying to find more,
Hmm.
to as much honestly as possible. So I was repeating and having like different kind of reactions, and just also to have like the best material to cut on during the editing process, because these actors, they are so good that they give you one intention and that is amazing, but maybe they give you another one, and you have like on the editing room like two different options with amazing performance but with different intentions. And
Yeah.
okay, what is the one I need to choose? And then based on the story, you make your creative decisions, but yeah, I definitely made a lot of takes.
When it came to Father Peter, before you came with and chose Will, who was brilliant in the role, did you have a specific vision of what Peter would look like, his mannerisms? And did it take you a long time to settle on Will? Did you have to audition a lot of people, or did it come about really quickly?
Well, to be honest, I we were excited to have like a star on the movie, but
Mm-hmm.
the budget was not real to achieve that. And Will is an star that is going forward, and I think he will become a huge star very
Oh yeah.
soon. He had an amazing role in chapter two. And basically, he was a recommendation from the producer of it, Barbara Muschietti. I was looking for an actor with this specific profile, but I'm not really like looking actors with a specific profile. It's something about the feeling and about their eyes, and I feel like when you see Will's face, you can see kindness and you can see a pure soul and a pure heart in his eyes, but also he can have like a very dark character too. So I felt he was perfect, and we made an audition, and he made something brilliant, and I felt like he was really compromised. So I was very happy with the result.
He was
And
great. He did an
yeah,
amazing job. An amazing job. You can't say enough about him. Let's talk about the beginning of the film, the sin. We actually see it. It's not just mentioned as the film goes on, it's not seen through flashbacks. You give it to us, you show it to us very well, to say the least. Now, me being a lifelong horror fan and having seen many exorcism movies and have it, you know, seen various takes on it. You added an extra element to that whole beginning part. We're not going to give away any spoilers. Uh, did you struggle with putting those elements into the opening sequence? That even shocked me, and having seeing it on the screen, I'm like, wow, this is something different.
yeah.
We've never really seen this before, or did you know right away this is what I want to this is exactly what I want to do?
No, I wanted from the very start. That was one of the main ideas we had while developing the screenplay. I think it was very powerful because the way we made the exorcism is different. It's not a battle between the father and the possessed person, but it's something that brings erotism, sexuality, and I feel that makes like even more scary and disturbing the scene, and I feel that that's great. I was trying to also like to seduce men or even women by having the sexual element and just the because yeah, it's difficult to talk about it without
Without
revealing.
giving spoilers, yeah, I get you. I get you. I understand. Now, you mentioned earlier your tribute to The Exorcist. I totally picked up on that. Good job on that one. You also referenced the Nine Circles of Hell, reference to Dante, and you brought in all these different elements. When it came to the makeup, how you were going to present the demon, and this demon is not like a low level demon. This is a very powerful demon in hell. Okay,
Yeah,
and it's the same demon that has followed this priest 18 years later.
yeah,
Okay, so when it came to the visual representation of the demon, you went very old school with the face and that. But one thing that was very distinct with me was the eyes. You gave this demon yellow cat like eyes. Was that, again, where did you draw that inspiration from when it came to the visual of the demon and the eyes in particular?
yeah. I don't know why, but I always imagine his eyes on yellow, like a yellow that is it has a bright into the shadows. You know, like I cannot describe like a reason, like a something reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that I felt like it looked really perverse and disturbing and creepy. Yeah, on the one hand, I wanted to be classic because I was making a homage to the Exorcist, and I wanted to change like the features on the demon and creating something diabolical, but also I wanted to create an evolution on it because if you see Esperanza on the first scene, she's totally different
Oh
during
yeah.
the last one when she's basically transformed in a devil and basically her face has reached like the highest level of possession and she looks like a real monster. It's very disturbing. I was working for that in that concept with the production design and also with the effects makeup artists. They are Americans. They are um, Ian Cromer and Lysander Washington. They have experience in amazing projects. For example, they work Lysander worked in the Suicide Squad and also in the Lord of the Rings TV show. And I'm very happy. And also by developing other characters like the iconic representation of Catholic characters, but perverse into very disturbing demons. We have like a demonic virgin, and she has two different colors for eyes. Like her eyes are lost. It's like she's looking at everything because one eye is looking to the right one,
Mm-hmm.
the other one to the left, and they move in different positions. And one of them is blue, and the other one is orange. I think that was nice because it looks like kind of beautiful,
Yeah.
kind of funny, but it's also very terrifying and full of horror.
Absolutely. And the special effects were really great. I don't know what the budget was on the film, but did you find it difficult to stay within the budget, but yet present such beautiful special effects?
It was so hard because we made the movie with just 1.3 million. Some
Which is,
people that
it's not bad.
yeah, yeah, it's not bad, but when you I mean, with that budget in the United States, I would have just shoot the half of the days I had in Mexico. In
Yeah.
Mexico, shot for 7 weeks. In the US, maybe you will have 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you won't have enough chance to develop all of these special effects in the same amount of effects. So basically, I try to make the most of them practically, like when the jump is the bed is jumping and all the fog that surrounds the characters. Tons of special effects, and then we mix them with some VFX that we worked together with an Argentinian company. We had like 200 visual effects takes. Some of them are make them to elevate the genre, to create thunders on the sky, rain, and the diabolic eyes, demonic faces. windows exploding, but other VFX are over there, and you won't even tell they are. For example, we have like this story set in a very isolated town in Mexico, and in the place we shot, it was beautiful. It has a mountain, but all the houses were like very modern,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful houses. We transformed them into like very dilapidated houses, and when you see them, you believe it's part of the location, but it's not. It's part of a VFX.
It's not noticeable. Not know. I did not know that. Now, another great thing is we have seen many movies before reference Legion of Demons. Like the one that comes to mind is the Exorcism of Emily Rose. In that, I don't know if you've seen the movie when she's in the barn and she's like, "There's six of us," but you actually show. This is not a spoiler, but the demon is able to possess other people simultaneously and create an army of demons that we see. Very, very scary stuff. Uh, did you ever contemplate, let's leave that out, let's leave that to the imagination, or you know what? It's been left to the imagination enough in other movies. Let people see what a legion of demons looks like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like even Esperanza, when you see originally the for the first time the movie, she's in her cell, and she has like a mark of five on the wall, and she say we are five,
Yeah,
and she say the children, but she's talking about the children who passed away because they were sick, but also about all the demons that were with her in the prison, and basically it's not like Balban can possess several people at the same time because he has like some henchmen that possess other inmates.
mm-hmm.
But Balban's power, yes, is very powerful to maybe go beyond her cell and terrifying Peter where he is by using the figure of the possessed Jesus and also like the demonic Virgin Mary. So I found that very disturbing and terrifying and original because I wanted like not to play always on the same horror language. I wanted to change it.
Yeah,
That's why then I include like some elements, some zombie elements in a part of the movie.
mm-hmm.
Also, like very demonic characters haunting the protagonist, but also the exorcisms, and the different kind of exorcisms that the audience will find in this story.
Absolutely. The ending, okay? We're not giving anything away, but it doesn't have we get rid of the demon, everybody's good, happy ending. You
Not happy.
definitely took a different twist on it. Did you play around when you were writing the script with different endings to this film, or did you know right from the get go how you wanted to wrap it up?
No, I think this was the first ending, and I love it so much that we preserve it until the end, and I really like it, because when people see it, they will find that this story is way beyond just. It's not only about the horror and the spectacle and all the emotional impacts that the genre brings. That they are amazing because I really love to have entertainment and to be totally moved. But also, it's a story that talks about the divorce that sometimes exists between spirituality and religion.
Mm-hmm.
Religion is controlled by men that can fall into corruption. So
Exactly.
I don't want to give anything
No, no,
away.
no, no, no. We're not giving anything away. Now the movie is set to release Friday, this next
Yeah,
Friday. It says to theaters and of course video on demand. Do you know as far as the theaters go? I'm assuming it's going to be a limited release.
yeah.
Is it going to be like just New York, Los Angeles? Do you know where it's being released to theaters?
I don't have the details yet, but I think we'll be in 20 cities in the US.
Not bad, not bad. And
Not
for
bad. It's a limited one, but it's gonna be good, and also I want people to watch it on the big screen because the cinematic experience with that sound design, with the visual effects, and watching the movie with other people screaming or laughing with you is priceless. So
it
I
is.
want people to do it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Joseph Marcel, who
Yeah.
plays Father Michael. Now, a lot of people, if you go way back, know him as Jeffrey from The Fresh
Yeah.
Prince of Bel Air. I was really happy to see him back on the screen again. How did Joseph come about to be in the cast?
Like the character of Michael Lewis was even inspired of one of my agents. His name is Michael Lewis. He has a very particular sense of humor that I put for this character, and basically he was a friend of Joseph Marcel, so he recommended me. We were in talkings with Eric Roberts, but we didn't find a way to make the schedule to work for both of us. So we brought Joseph Marcel, and he was great not only because he's amazing with comedy and humor, as we already know,
Oh yeah.
also because he has a huge experience in on the theater plays. Like he has a theater play company in London, and he has performed basically like all the Shakespeare characters. He has a very powerful spirit and a very powerful character, and he's more than 70 years old. Yeah, I mean, like, but he
Really?
has, yeah,
He doesn't
yeah,
look it.
don't look it,
Oh.
but that's a great energy, and I was very happy with the freshness that he brought to the story, and also the power and the comment. So yeah, it's a very special element that also brings some kind of inclusion or variety of I feel like the film is like a multicultural movie, you
Yeah.
know?
He's not your typical priest, okay? In fact, he does everything against of what you think a priest would do.
Yeah,
And he's an exorcist specialist. That's his specialty. And this is
yeah,
in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler, where Father Peter asks Father Michael, how am I going to do this? And he's like, don't like pray to God, but be God, yeah, when you're performing this exorcism, which is
yeah,
really, it's great. It's a great line.
yeah,
Alejandro, thank you so much. This movie, I have no doubt, is going to have a huge successful run in the United
uh,
States, worldwide. You did a great job. I look forward to seeing more movies coming your way. So, is the next movie you're working on is the American remake?
yeah. Yeah. I'm also attached in a couple of projects. One of them is called Godpool. It's a kind of adventure horror that will take place in a very unique and beautiful place on earth that is called Cayos Cape in Ecuador. I'm very excited about that project too, and developing several stories at the same time.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you to our audience for tuning in. Again, the movie is called The Exorcism of God. It's available on your video on demand platform of choice, Friday, March 11th, and in 20 different cities in select theaters around the country. Alejandro, thank you so much. Any final thoughts you want to share before we go?
Yeah, the film is going also to be available digitally and in all the video on demand platforms. So watch it on the screen, on the big screen, or if you can, just enjoy the story at home. It's a very powerful story. I hope you like it, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely. I'm a horror fan. People know that. But my favorite subgenre is the paranormal, demonic, ghost, and whatnot. And I'm really selective. And this movie is really well done. The story is amazing. The editing is great. The special effects are scary. There's a lot of plot twists that we can't get into as the movie unfolds and people learn more and more. So it's just pure entertainment straight through. So guys, definitely check it out. It's a must-watch recommendation. Again, thank you to Alejandro. Thank you to our audience. On behalf of Alejandro Hidalgo and myself, stay safe and stay walking. Bye, everybody.